Okay, so this is going to be part 2 of the makeup collection. I'm in the bathroom. This is where I typically get ready. I don't usually get ready over in the filming room. On occasion, yes, but here is where I get ready, standing right here looking in a mirror that's behind this camera. I said that like I'm a celebrity and everybody's so pressed about where I get where I get ready. Anyway, just hang with me. Okay, most of my makeup is in drawers. There's some stuff that's out, so I'll show you like the loose items first, and then we'll go through the drawers, and I'll do maybe some swatches here and there. I'm not sure. We'll see how that goes. I'm hoping this isn't an hour and a half video, but forgive me if it gets super long. And I actually have proper lighting, I think, for this video, so you'll actually be able to see true colors of some of the stuff I talk about. All right, let's go. Okay, let me see if I can pull this off. This is the drawer that has the lipsticks and some powders pulled out. It's messy. I did not, well, it's not totally messy. There's a method to the organization madness here, but I'm not going to rearrange things just for the sake of the video. Before I get into this, I did want to show you some items that I have out on my counter for daily use. I have mentioned before that my husband does some like woodwork as a hobby, and so he makes these beautiful vessels, bowls, or whatever for family members, friends. And I have a bunch of these for my makeup products. Like, how gorgeous is that? But anyway, these are all of the lip pencils that are in this space. And there are a ton of them. They are literally busting out of here because I went crazy in the Sephora sale and the Ulta sale and whatever, grabbing these. So I'll just share a few of these that I love the most. I've talked about loving the Tom Ford lip pencils. I find them to be very pigmented and creamy and long lasting. These are the kinds of pencils that when you put them down, they don't really budge unless you absolutely rub them off. Like, they stay. You see how I'm having to scrub, and it's taking a while. And there are other buttery formulas that really come off a lot quicker than that. So I know they're expensive, but these are some of my favorites. On the lighter, more easygoing side, I have come to really enjoy the Rhode ones. These are both lip pencils, but you can also just use them as general lip color, like fill in your entire lip because it's sort of like a fat point on there. These are a little bit softer. They rub off quicker, as you see, but they're very nice and creamy and easy to apply. And I like the aesthetic of the packaging of these. I have a ton of the MAC lip pencils. What I like about MAC is that there's a wide variety of colors. They have colors just for just about any kind of lip vibe you want to go for. So I won't go through all of these colors at all. I'm not even pulling the ones that I really, like the most. I haven't thought about it that deeply. This one is called Strip Down. This is also a bit of a waxier and drier formula at the same time. It's not quite as creamy as some of the other formulas, but they have decent lasting power. And I do appreciate that they glide on really easily. They have a nice glide, and it's kind of like a sleek looking pencil. I recently purchased a bunch of these Anastasia Beverly Hills lip liners. This one is in the color Cool Brown. I probably have 7 or 8 of these at this point. These are also rather long lasting. They smudge out pretty decently as well. And they're a little bit of a drier formula. So I really like these in terms of wanting a long lasting, highly pigmented color. I'll share just a few other formulas that I really love. In part 1, I talked about the Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0. This is the color Sandy Beige. And then the Fenty Beauty Lip Liners. This one is, I hate this name, Satin Panty. I mean, really, could we not think of any other names? I do enjoy the butteriness and slip of these, and I think they have some of the nicest warm colors. The only challenge here is they don't really last very long. You have to constantly reapply, but these are like faithful go-tos in terms of the versatility of the colors, the way that they glide on, super easy. So, these are ones that also kind of spread out very quickly. You can put it all over your lip before you apply your lip color. Just know that you would have to reapply these often if you like them. I'm really enjoying the Makeup by Mario lip pencils. I have 3 here, although I think I have maybe 5 or 6 overall. This one is the color Angela. It has a side that has this kind of brush on it if you wanted to use that to soften the edges. Honestly, I never use that side. I only ever use the color side. These are also fairly pigmented and smooth, buttery blends. I find that these are longer lasting than the Huda ones and the Fenty ones, but these are like medium in longevity as compared to the Tom Ford ones. Then I also adore the Rouge Dior Contour lip pencils here. I have them in a lot of colors, and the beauty here is also the versatility. These come with these brushes also, which I never use. But if you want simple neutral colors that go with a lot of different kinds of lipsticks, this might be a good place to start. There's a nice range, and they also, if you like Dior lipsticks, they match the Dior lipsticks, which is nice. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to mention the new Hung Van Gogh ones. Highly recommend these. These are also very long lasting. I have Van Gogh red and New York red, and I think one other color in that batch somewhere. These are pigmented, long lasting. I would say that these are comparable to the Tom Ford ones. The Tom Ford ones are the longest lasting, and then these might come in a close second. So there you go. And I like I like the pop of red. I think it's kind of fun to have color in your makeup wardrobe, and it's color without being gaudy or over the top. So then I'll also share these eyeliners, which I keep out on the counter in this sort of caddy that spins, that has my brushes on in them. And so I've got the Hung Van Gogh eyeliners. I think that these are fabulous, fabulous. These are some of the longest lasting. If I want to lay down like a black liner that's not going to budge, it's going to stay, and it's got a nice, like pre-sharpened point on it. It's not super sharp, but it's just right to give you a thick line without taking over your entire eye. Whereas the Victoria Beckham liners, you do have to be careful when you put these on not to smudge them out too much, because they can become eyeshadow-ish because they're so thick. So these give you, and I love these are a favorite formula as well. It all depends like what you're going for. These are called the Satin Kajal liners. They have a little smudge side. I rarely use that. You can tell I tried to use that one. But these are like whiter and creamier, and you can use them as overall shadow, like smudge it out like that if you want to. So I have cinnamon, the navy noir one. I have it in black, and then I think this color is Bordeaux, and I have a brown one somewhere. I haven't pulled that out for some reason, but I have that too. I still use the Huda Beauty Creamy Kohl. This is just a, creamy kohl black liner that's a go-to. And I have the Sephora 12-hour waterproof eyeliner. This one is in matte brown. I've used up a black one. And I also keep at least one, if not two, mascaras out. Right now, I just have the one Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara. This has been a faithful go-to. I love that this has this sort of hourglass type of brush, and it's a thick but dry formula that coats my eyelashes nicely, stays on all day, and I don't get fallout, which I appreciate about this formula. I have purchased tube after tube after tube of this. I also keep my concealers out on the counter, and I know this looks like a lot, but it's so much better than the crazy mess that I used to have. And so I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear one in the color 4N. This is what I have on my eyes today. Quite nice, a little bit on the thicker side, and it can be a little dry. You have to work this in very quickly, but it's nicely long lasting. One of my favorites is the Hourglass one, and this is in the color 6.5, I think, Sienna. And this is one of my favorite creamy formulas that also lasts quite a long time. I like the sleek packaging as well. I have the Natasha Denona. I think this is a High Glam, concealer in the color N9. I really like this a lot. I would say the Hourglass is my favorite. The Double Wear is right up there as well. I think the Sarah Creole bumped the Natasha Denona from a top spot, even though I still like my Natasha Denona. This one is in the color 5.0, I guess. I like the packaging that looks a little Art Deco. It's really cool. And you can use this as general concealer and a complexion enhancer if you want. It's a very creamy formula, glides on quite nicely, and stays a long time. I have this YSL All Hours Precise Angles Concealer in the color Medium Neutral 7, MN7. And I like this also. This is a little bit on the darker side. Speaking of, I think this Dior one is a little bit on the darker side as well. Yep, this is For Warm. So this is the companion to the Dior Backstage Foundation. Also a little bit more sheer in texture. Let me see if I can show you that. But oh, and it also has this little brush instead of like a doe foot applicator. It does have decent coverage, even though it shears out quite nicely. Well, actually, let me take that back. That's more like a medium to full coverage. Maybe I'm just remembering the foundation to be more sheer, but it feels skin-like. Perhaps that's where I'm going with that. It feels like second skin, like you still see all my pores, but it kind of like evens out the skin tone. I've talked with you all recently about the Gucci multi-use longwear concealer. Mine is in the color 37 warm, which is actually probably a little too yellow for me, but that's okay. I make it work. I love, love, love. This is an unexpected love because I didn't want to ever buy this because it's so expensive, but the Westman Atelier concealer. It's called the Vital Skincare Concealer. Is that the color or is that just some kind of product number? It says B211. I don't remember. Oh, excuse me. That's the, I'm such a dodo bird. That's the product color. This is M4, medium 4. This is one of my favorite concealers. It's right up there with the Sarah Creel and maybe even the Hourglass. It is emollient and thick and never feels overwhelming, although it's rather full coverage. Beautiful. I have, but don't really reach for a lot, the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is in medium 1 custard. This looks so beat up. This isn't, well, maybe it is a little dirty, but it also gets the bottom of all of the other ones getting stuck in there. So that's what you're looking at there. This I bought on a recommendation from Risa. Is it Risa Does or Risa Loves Makeup? I do find that this kind of splits apart on me a little bit after a while. And so this isn't the longest lasting for me, but I do like it. This here is from Rare Beauty, and it is designed, or at least I use it, before and under my concealer. I use this as like a spackling agent for for my under eyes, like a primer for concealer to kind of fill in all the lines, and then I let that dry down a bit before I put my concealer on. I don't always use it, but sometimes. And this is just a brow gel. I'm not even going to talk about that, a brow serum. So those are my concealers that are in this room. Then I have this container of assorted brow products and lip balms. What do I want to show you off of here? I've talked about these, the Mighty Fine Brow Pen from Benefit. This is an interesting little contraption here. It's got the points on it, so you can like flick it and create hairs for your eyebrows. And I like it when you first apply it. The problem for me with these is that I usually have a little bit of foundation in that section, and this kind of gets gooped up with the foundation and doesn't perform as it does on the initial flick. So I find myself cleaning this in between, but it is a great product. I did buy it in 2 colors, 3.5 neutral medium brown, and then the 3.75 warm medium brown. I have another Kosas Air Brow Gel in medium brown here. I've shared that I love these and have multiple tubes of these all over the place. I have some other assorted brow gels, but one of my faithful eyebrow products is the Brow Wiz from Anastasia. This is in the color soft brown. It's got the, ooh, that's gross. I need to clean, ew. Sorry, I had to clean that out, the little spoolie on the one side, and it's just thick enough yet thin enough for me to, do something similar that you might do with that flick pen and have a little bit of a more natural, well, what's a natural eyebrow when you use these things, but I guess as natural as you can go. Okay, so now let's get into this drawer here. Let me have a seat, hang on, because Mama's tired. My back hurts on this tile floor. Okay, I can't quite see what I'm doing, so I'm going to hope that what I show you is actually showing up on screen. Let me start off with the powders that I have in this space, which just kind of sit here, squashed in among my lipsticks. I guess I'll start with these. I still have the old Hourglass ambient lighting palette. I think this is Color Story 1, dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. And this is something I purchased, look how disgusting that mirror is, on recommendation from Kathleen Lights many years ago. She talked about just using her brush and kind of swirling it all around as like a finishing powder after she finished her makeup. And I like doing that. It gives like a soft focus effect on the eyes, on your skin, your overall skin on your face in general, and does a little bit of, it gives like your entire makeup look like a 0.25 point of sheen. a little bit of color reflection, or light reflection rather, without doing too much. So this is good. I would repurchase this. I've had this same Hourglass powder. I used this getting married, so that was 7 years ago. And I've had it maybe an hour, a year or two before that. So this is probably 8 or 9 years old. I love the packaging. I think the packaging is sleek. It's called the Veil Translucent Setting Powder. I love that it has the H Hourglass, but an H for Hourglass in there. I find this to be nicely finely milled, and it settles in quite nicely into your skin without showing pores. In fact, it blurs your pores. This one is the Translucent Setting Powder. I think it comes in another color. I would absolutely repurchase this. It's been a mainstay. The newer Givenchy powder here, the Prisma Libre powder, this is in 4 Mousseline Acidulé. Supposed to be a 4-in-1 powder. I think the idea here is each of these powders is a slightly different color, and so it enhances and or cancels out certain aspects of color challenges that you may have on your face. Whatever, I like it, it works, and I like the way it has a little bit of a blurring effect on the face. Love, love, love this Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Setting Powder. This one is in the color 3 Neutral Peach. So it does have a little bit of a peachy undertone. I find this to be super finely milled, and it has a nice little airbrush effect on your skin while still allowing your face to look very natural and not over powdered. You can see I am making my way through this. It's one that I reach for quite often. Then this one I reach for when I want a completely blurred out look because it is a very strong powder, I find. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. This is the new Ultra Blur one in Translucent Honey. I like the feel of the packaging, that it's sleek and it doesn't show fingerprints. Bravo to Laura Mercier. This is a little bit of a darker color for someone like me. And so I use this when I'm filming and I've done self-tanning and want a little bit of a darker color on my face to match what my face looks like, because that is more, it's almost like a honey peachy color. Really, I love this. Love it. But it's very blurring and very strong. So then I have 2 of the Huda Beauty powders. These have, to me, a fantastic smell. I enjoy the smells. I know a lot of people think these are too overpowering. What do they smell like? Let's see. I don't know. They smell floral fruity to me, but I have them in 2 colors, and I have a little mini Huda powder in my travel kit. This one is in the color Banana Bread, and I also have the color Pound Cake. Banana Bread is a little bit more peachy and darker, this one here, than the Pound Cake, which is lighter in tone. This is more in the ivory porcelain direction. Banana Bread has a little bit of a yellow tinge to it. Then I did recently purchase the other newer Givenchy powder, also called Prisma Libre Color Pressed Powder, in also the color 04. So I don't know. I look at this as like a pressed color version of the loose powder. It's the exact same color scheme. So I guess it just depends on what you're going for. If you want to be able to press into your pores more, I would go with the loose powder. If you just want a lighter, more gentle, soft effect focus kind of spread, I would maybe choose this one and do a light swirl around all the colors. I don't ever, well, I shouldn't say never, but I rarely, if ever, use these brushes that come with the compact. So to me, that's a waste. And then this one here, I purchased on recommendation from Mel. If you all remember Mel, God rest her soul. She was a makeup artist that had a wonderful channel. And I believe the videos are still posted. I forget what the name of the channel is. I'll try to find it and post it on the screen because her content changed my makeup life. In fact, she's one of the people I should have mentioned in part 1 when I was talking about people that influenced my makeup collection. She talked about the Touche Éclat 3D, oh, excuse me, I'm wrong. She did not talk about this, or maybe she did, and Lisa J did. That's who gave me this recommendation. It was Lisa J, but I still love Mel's channel. This is in the color Universal, Touche Éclat 3D All Over Glow from YSL. This is, to me, a blurring powder. I consider this like a finishing powder in the same way that I would the Hourglass, sorry about that, the Hourglass ones. Like, it's finely milled. It has like a little bit of an airbrush effect in the same way that the Hourglass powders do. Fantastic for a finishing touch for your face. Like, you can do your all over face. You can powder like you would regularly do with a Huda Beauty or any other, and then finish off with a wash of this all over your face to kind of airbrush out your entire face, friends. Now, y'all have to forgive me as I go through this drawer. There are, random stray hairs and whatever in the drawer. I'm sorry, this is like real life here, but here's how I have my lipsticks arranged, and it works for me. I have the pink and cool toned, I was going to say fragrances, lipsticks here in, like, I call this, to me, this is like a row. And they don't all fit neatly and nicely in the containers that I have, thus this hot mess happening back here. In here are my more neutral lipsticks and balms that I can wear with either a cool tone or a warm toned look. And then over here are what I consider to be the more warm toned lipsticks. It's not an exact science, but that's roughly how I have them divided up. There are some lipsticks that are newer to the collection that haven't made their way in because something has to go for these to fit in here, and I have to figure that out. So I'll start with those, and I won't share all of them, but I do have some of the new Tom Ford lipsticks. In fact, I've talked about this one, the red one, nice bluish red, like what a sexy component there. This is called the effing, and it's the full, look, can you see it on there? The full word, effing fabulous lipstick. Anyway, so I have it in this, and then I also purchased the color pink. I feel like I have a third color of this somewhere that I purchased from Harrods, but this is more like a peony colored type of lipstick here. Nice creamy formulas, very sexy component. And then I went crazy and purchased a bunch of the Westman Atelier lipsticks. There's, I think, is there one or two in here? Yeah, here's one, here's another one. I love these components. I've talked about these. This is the coolest little thing. The problem is they repel each other. So I can't put them next to each other in the lineup here because they want to push each other apart because they're highly magnetized. But let me just show you what one of these looks like for those of you that didn't catch that other video and maybe don't know. Here, this is the color Le Rouge. Most of their lipsticks look like this. The other colors I showed you were a special like holiday collection. Look how beautiful that is with the little heart stamping. There you go. Beautiful color. Mind you, if you ever see lipsticks that look like that, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that's the lip liner color of the last lip liner that I used with it. So it looks a little grody. Pardon me, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyway, these have the nice little mirror inside with the Atelier, the Westman Atelier stamped on the outside. I find these components to be really, really classy. And I love the highly magnetized nature of them, except that they repel each other. Probably their most famous shade is this color Petal. And I also have the, well, this is not the right color because I put this over a different lipstick to kind of lighten up the lipstick. So there, I wiped that off. And it looks like that. So it is this almost like bluish pink that looks good on many, many, many skin tones. Okay, so let me show you some of the formulas that I really love. All of them. That's what I really love. No, seriously. And by the way, if you're wondering, what are you doing with these like old sugar packets here? When I finish my lipstick, I use this in between my lips and just kind of like, you know, press down on it and pull it out to get some of the excess lipstick off so it doesn't end up on my teeth. That's why I have these here. I love all these formulas. Truly, truly, truly. My lipstick collection, I love it. I can't have enough lipsticks. I really cannot. But I will say in terms of beautiful components, the Lisa Eldridge, I think these are called the Rouge Collection. This is a nice heavy metal. Like it has some weight to it and you can change out these components. And so I forget what this particular color is. And my eyeballs are failing me. 189, whatever color that is. But I have several of these components that you can, excuse me, there, put in and take and carry with you if you just want to buy one of the components and you can get your initial stamped in. It's got the Lisa Eldridge, very classy. It's a classy component. I love the Laura Mercier component here with the little silver stripe. This is an odd color. It's called Nude Sateen, 143. I haven't worn this yet, although I thought that I would. I've tried to wear it, but I haven't. And so you can see that it looks a little bit used, but I have to find the right lip liner to put in this because, or around this rather, or under this, because if not, you look like you just have concealer lips, which is not a good look for me. I need a little bit of tone and color on my lips. What's missing from here? Oh, my lipstick of the day, the Chanel ones. This one is in the color Adrian. This is what I have on my lips. Adrian! These are very balmy and lush in terms of like the wetness of these Rouge, what are they called? Rouge Cocoa line from Chanel. I have 3,743 different MAC lipsticks in all kinds of colors. They have such the range. This one is Cool Teddy, which is like almost like a neutral, cool leaning pinky brown color. The Natasha Denona ones, I just love. I love all of the components. They're nice and heavy. This was a special edition one called Berry Pop. She released this with some collection. Maybe it was like I was going to say Thanksgiving, the Valentine collection. Isn't that beautiful? That's a deep, dark, sexy berry color. Love it. I do absolutely love, although they don't last the longest, and that part pisses me off, the Fenty Gloss Sticks, I think these are called. This one is hot chocolate, but I have them in a lot of different colors. They're very juicy. Oh, I love that. I love that, but it doesn't last. None of these last, and that part is annoying, so you have to keep reapplying them. But, you know, such is life. You can't win them all, friends. I recently got into these Rouge Dior lipsticks. This is the color 120 On Stage. These are, I think these rival the Fenty Gloss Bomb sticks because they're nice and juicy and they have a little bit of sticking power. They last longer than the Fenty ones. And they're also really, well, I shouldn't say really glossy. They're relatively glossy. I think the Gloss Bomb sticks from Fenty are shinier, but they do have a lot of shine to them. These Rouge Dior, whatever these are called. Rouge Dior, I'll just call them lip balms. What else do I want to show y'all? I really, really am impressed with the Hung Bango lipstick formula. I have Wildest Dream. I looked up how to say this and I've already forgotten. Fanat Nikom. And I think they have another one, a different color in the other room. But these formulas, this is the color I purchased that I didn't think I would like a lot, and I won't wear it a lot because it's a little too deep and dark for me. But the formula itself, it's matte supposedly, but it has a little bit of sheen. I like the components. Here's the other one, the Fanat, whatever this is called. This is a little bit more up my alley. Yeah, that's a little more wearable and for me. This is a little bit more vampy, grungy for my taste, but that's all right. I think I have First Cover or something like that in the other room. I showed it in the other video. Where were you? Here. If you're into nude lipsticks, Very Little Beats, the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude line. This one is in the color Noah. And they are very opaque, super opaque. Now this is, again, like that, probably a little deeper and a little more bluey purplish than I would personally enjoy wearing, but I do have it because I wanted to collect them all and I love it. We've talked about the amazing Gucci formulas. This is Love Before Breakfast. Look at that color. Shut the front door. Oh my gosh, is that super fun? The Hourglass lipsticks, just love these. This is Reef. I mean, I could stay in here all day just playing with lipstick swatches and colors. I adore lipstick. It's the best. It's amazing. It's fabulous. And then my favorite formula, and you're going to see this in an upcoming video where I talk about like my hero products of the past year, is, I shouldn't say my favorite, one of my favorite formulas. For easy going day-to-day wear where it's no fuss, no muss, these NARS Explicit lipsticks. This is in the color Envy. They've got so many easygoing colors and there's a nice sheen to them. They're, you know, semi-hydrating and just a very easy wearing formula. Love them. The Makeup by Mario formulas are really impressing me too. The ones that come in the white tube, I think these are, yeah, the Ultra Suede, whereas the ones in the black tubes, forgive my hair is all throughout this, is the Super Satin one. So the black tubes have a little bit of sheen and the Ultra Suedes are supposed to be more matte. This one is called Annie. Let's do it here. Also highly pigmented, very easy wearing formula. And then Uptown Girl is this color. And there's a hair in there. So disgusting. Sorry, y'all. Ooh. Love that for a beautiful, warm fall, you know, into like Thanksgiving time period of the year. Look, what else do I want to show y'all? I love my Tom Ford lipsticks. I just really do. I like the components. I like the ease of wear of them. I like the color range. I do like some of these special edition holiday ones. This is from Givenchy and it's the color 502, Le Rouge Interdit Intense Silk Formula. These are a little bit, even though they have a little bit of sheen, I find the Givenchy formulas to go on a little drier, which is okay in terms of the lasting power. You know, the ones that have the most juiciness seem to sort of slide off the fastest. And like, how pretty is that component? And then I've recently gotten into these Sisley ones. And this is Rose Shanghai, the color 28, number 28. And so I'd like to collect more of these. I do have to wait till these go on sale because I think they retail at something redonkulous, like $70 or $80. Oh my Jesus. Okay. So I wait till they're like 20-something% off at the very least. Oh, here's my other Hung Bango one. Yeah, First Cover, which is like that berry, mauvey, pinky color. And then I adore the Charlotte Tilbury lipstick compacts. The formula itself is okay. This is Red Hot Susan. Actually, this is one of my favorite colors of hers. Look how beautiful that is. They're a nice, comfortable formula. They aren't the longest lasting among the bunch, but they last pretty good and they feel good on the lips. You do have to swatch a couple of times to get color payoff, you know, versus like maybe that one there. But beautiful compacts, a lot of fun. They all have their own little personality. I'm looking around to see if I missed anything that I really wanted to chat with you all about. Oh my gosh, hello. The YSL, I forget what these are called, but they're like they're a little bit like the Fenty Gloss Bombs. And they're more almost lip glossy in nature, but they have just enough color that on days when all you wanted to do was have a little bit of color and shine on your lips, these are wonderful and they're so easy to reapply and enjoy, and they come in a lot of different colors. So these are fun. So as you can see, this isn't like a perfect system that I have going on here. Some of these are out of place, but I do like them a lot and enjoy all of my formulas. So let me also share, maybe this isn't the best example. This is the one I wanted to share from Anastasia. This is one of their like what do you call them? Liquid lip type of formulas. It's a mousse texture. I have it in two colors: peach amber. They call them lip velvet. Peach amber and pink sand. You can see that this one is very pale, cool tone. So I could only wear this with a darker lip liner. But this color here is me. This is such a beautiful, easy fall color. In fact, that looks a lot like, well, this one is, I said I couldn't wear that one. That one is more deeply brown. This one has more ruddy, reddy, orangey tones in it that make it more wearable. Beautiful on the lip. I think that's maybe all I want to highlight out of this drawer. Let's go on to the next drawer then and have ourselves a little fun. Okay, so this drawer, I spend a lot of time in this drawer. This is my bronzers that are down in this row in the middle, my foundations, some leftover powders and primers and things, and then highlights here. And these are the Patrick Ta, I forget what they're called, but the duo whatever eyeshadow things that I'm going to show you in just a minute. So where do I start? Let's go front to back. So in terms of highlighters, if we want to call them that, actually this is an eyeshadow product. This is Kylie Cosmetics, Kylie Jenner, and I forget what this is called. The Wet Shimmer Quad is what it's called. And these are so nice. They compete with that, I think it's called Urban Decay Moon, I forget what it's called, but the glittery shades. And so these I consider to be mostly topper shades. Here's an example. Look at that. You see how it gives a little bit of shine and razzle dazzle. I would consider these as ones that you would put on top of your regular shadow. You can use them alone, but as you see, they don't give a whole lot of background color. They just give shimmer and dance to the eye. And it's a nice little compact to take with you if you want to stick it in your purse or travel with it. Then we have the RMS Beauty Living Luminizer Glow Quad. I showed some of the pots of this in the other room, but these are you would use to kind of like create some sheen. And I don't know if the camera is going to pick that up, but think about like, you know, when you put them on your cheek, you can put them on your eye, your brow bone or something like that, but to create a little bit of light as you twist and turn, that's probably more pronounced there. Gives just like a subtle wet look, as though you just moisturized your skin. And so anyway, nice little compact here to do the job of giving you like a little bit of a natural looking highlight. Then I have 1, 2, 3 of these Dior. Actually, I have a Dior quad here, but the highlighters. This is a Glow Luminizer formula, Opal Sequin. I haven't used this much. I ordered this during the holidays thinking that it would be a little bit more subtle, but it's like the toppers I just showed you, those Kylie Jenner toppers. So I should probably move this and put this with my direct eyeshadows or something and use it as a topper, because I don't really see myself sticking this on my cheek, and I don't go out anywhere where I want that kind of razzle dazzle on my cheek. I'd rather put this on my eye. So in that sense, it was a little bit of a fail in that I'll be using it for something other than what it's intended to do. This was also one of the limited edition, I think, Dior luminizers, 001 Dior Star. This one is more useful. So this is a holiday packaging. I actually have this on my cheeks today, and it's also nice and subtle. You have to kind of build this up. It is a little razzle dazzle, but not quite as diffused and sparkle as the other formula that I showed you, and therefore has a more sort of natural wet look to it. I also have Pink Halo on recommendation from Charlotte Holdcroft here on YouTube. I enjoy her channel. That's like a subtle highlighter formula. Again, I don't think these will show up very, very well on camera, so I'll just go through these quickly. These are better seen in person. The Sunrise Gold 01 Gucci Glow Highlighter. This is a little bit like a gel putty formula, but it is rather impactful. This one happens to be a little bit pinky toned. I'd like to kind of get this in a more champagne-y, goldish color, because this one has a pink purple, well, not purple, but like a deeper pink shift there that I don't wear as often. So this hasn't gotten the most use, but the formula is quite beautiful. This is maybe one of my favorite highlighter compacts of all time. This is from Ofra. I don't even know if this is sold anymore. It's the Beverly Hills highlighter. And let me show you, I like that it's just plain packaging, right? But then you get all the highlighter shades that you could want. And these are very nice, you know. I use this one as an inner corner highlight. I will use this one on my cheeks. Sometimes I'll just swirl all over, but it's an all-in-one. You know, if you're the kind of person that doesn't use a whole lot of highlighter and you just want variety for when you want to use it, something like this is perfect because it has every color you could want. Natasha Denona, I need a glue. I don't need no glue, y'all. I need a nude glow highlighter. This is a beautiful highlighter. Really goldy though. Like this is glitz and glam for nighttime. I fell for the hype and I'm glad that I did because I like them. The Prada highlighters. I don't like the packaging as much as other people do. I feel like it's a fingerprint magnet, but it is nice and sleek. And this is the color 01. And it looks like that. And it's a little bit deceiving because it looks different on than it does in the pan. This is very similar though. If you want a drugstore version of this, the Essence, I think they were called Sunbaked. I'm forgetting the name of them, highlighters, but they were from Essence drugstore. I didn't quite like the packaging of those, but hello, ring light. The formula gives you the same look. I like this one a little bit more. It's a little creamier than the Essence ones that are a little drier, but really good formula. It deserves the hype and it's replaceable. Like you can take the compact out and refill it if that's important to you. And then this is to me one of the best buys at Sephora in terms of highlighter that also can double as eyeshadow. I don't especially love the casing and I know they changed it to have a more pronounced Dior logo. But this is the 001 Universal Glow Face Palette. And these are some of the prettiest highlights. I dig into this quite often, especially this for an inner corner and maybe sometimes a mix of those two on the cheek. I've used both of these as eyeshadow. How pretty is that? They're subtle but impactful, and I think they're beautiful. This to me is one of the best formulas in the worst packaging ever. This deserves upgraded packaging all day, every day. Okay, and then I will quickly show you all of the Patrick Ta Duo, whatever they're called. Let me get you the right name here. Major Dimension Eye Illusion Eyeshadow Duo. I have almost all of them still at the club. These are some of the most beautiful formulas because, well, first of all, they just look pretty in the pan, but the color selection, I mean, gee whiz, look at that beautiful brownie taupey color, whatever this is. I mean, it's got so much dazzle and razzle and doesn't look overdone. Some of these are a little bit chunkier than others, but these are so, I mean, look at those two together. You could put this over that one and could create a whole different look. Easy, and I love to reach for these when I want just a little bit of extra hop on my eye and I want to shine up just a little bit more. I won't go through all of these. Let me just show you a few more. This is Always on Your Mind. Very similar to that last one, but just like ever so subtle differences in color. When the Sun Sets, this is the one I thought I wasn't going to get because I thought it looked a little peachy online, but it doesn't in person. It's more goldy, and this one is like bronzy. I mean, so I don't even know if that's picking up with the ring light or whatever. Looks like my veins are popping out of my skin. Sorry if that's grossing y'all out. I don't know what to do about that. It's just how I look. Then very quickly over here, I have a little assortment of products. I won't go through them all, but I did want to show you something funny here, which is I still have the Coty Airspun powder, the loose face powder. Boy, does this have a really strong smell to it. It's got that old school 70s perfumey smell, but this is a nice face powder. You know, if you're into face powder, loose powder, and you don't want to spend a lot, you'd be hard pressed to find something that was a better bang for your buck than the Coty Airspun loose face powder. I still have some of my Bare Minerals products. This is the warmth one that you're supposed to use for a little bit of a bronzing effect. I admit that I don't use them, but I have a hard time getting rid of them. Same thing with the Neutral Medium 15 foundation. I used to wear this all the time. In fact, I think I talked about in the first part one that I didn't really get into foundation and, you know, a full face of makeup until YouTube makeup kind of hit the scene. But I wore Bare Minerals face foundation on special occasion. I should have talked about that. And I had the brush that went with it that you would swirl all around, and I did all that. I cannot yet let go of the Dior Air Flash Spray Foundation. I don't remember where I was. Sorry, I got interrupted by my husband and we had a chat. But this is the Dior Air Flash Spray Foundation Airbrushed Radiance something or other. This is in the color 311. I love this. It was a challenge to figure out how to use it, but once you learn to spray it on the back of your hand and then take a brush and kind of dip it in and use it as your foundation, amazing formula, long lasting, and one of the most natural looking formulas I've ever used. It's too bad it's discontinued. I believe it got discontinued because of the aerosol factors, but I'm not quite sure. But man, I can't let go of this. I don't care how old it gets. I want to keep this. So then let's look at the primers and, well, let me not talk about the primers. Well, I have one primer that I'll share. The Forever Glow Star Filter, which I like. It's a lot like the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless, whatever that is, Hollywood filter thing that I showed in the other video. This is in the color 3. A little goes a long way. I mean, you could use this as an all-over primer all over your face before you started your makeup, but it's quite a lot. Like it has a lot of shine. Let me show you. See how it's like, it can, a little goes a long way. I mean, one pump can do your entire highlights and whatever, and it's very shiny. So you can mix this in with your foundation. You can put it under your foundation. You can tap it over your foundation. You know, as long as your foundation is set well, before you put on your powder, you can take like a sponge and put it on the highlights, the high points of your face for some highlight. Either way, this I probably want to get rid of. This came as a free product. I placed an order for Mario products directly from their website, and this was a free product if you spent a certain amount. It's the Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum in Light Medium, and I don't know. I prefer powder bronzers, or at least some of these cream sticks, which I don't have a lot of them because I'm worried about them drying out. So I only have a few. But yeah, I think I'm going to let this go and give it to someone else. I have it on my face today, but I didn't quite enjoy using it. I think the same is true for the bronzer sticks. I got a mini. Actually, this is a contouring stick from Makeup by Mario. And I prefer a warmer, like a bronzer effect. That is too cool tone for me. It makes my face look dirty. So that's a fail. I like a warm look, even though, I mean, some people might think it looks clownish to look that warm. So very quickly, I still have a Persona one where the packaging is falling apart, that is splitting. But this is in the color Sahara. See how that's nice? It's a lot warmer. It's got a warmer effect, and it's very easy to blend out. Love that. And then I also have a few of these Rare Beauty. I think I have one in the other room, but this one, or maybe I gave one away. This one is called Full of Life, and it's very much of a much stronger color. Like it's, what am I trying to say? It's redder. And so I have to be especially tanned to use this for it not to look too dark on me. And then in terms of my bronzers, I really love the collection in here. I've got several Hourglass bronzers. This is Luminous Bronze Light. I'll just show them quickly to you. They all have sort of like a different bit of a finish. It could be a little bit redder or a little bit more cool toned. This one is Nude Bronze Light. I don't know, do I want to show every single one? Let me just say I have 4 Hourglass bronzers in here, and then I have a bunch in the palettes. These don't really belong here, but I stuck them here. These are the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Balm. I have them in the color of 4 and 5. Sometimes 4 feels a little bit light. Your girl hit pan, aren't you proud? Yeah. I never use these little contraptions that come to scoop it out. And then this is the color 5, which is a little bit on the sort of golden peachy side. But yeah, I like these. They don't, they kind of crumble on me during the day. And so from that perspective, I won't repurchase them, but I will use them up. I have a Gucci bronzer, excuse me, the Dolce & Gabbana bronzer. This is in the color, what are you? 03 medium. I won't repurchase this. It's okay. I have better bronzers. This one can be a little bit patchy. I will not repurchase this color that I purchased blindly of the, who are you? The Lancome CE Skin Transforming Bronzer in 05 tan. Y'all ready to see? First of all, the compact is pretty, but this color is so red. Oh my gosh. That is extremely red. And so I can only use it when I have dramatic makeup on. I could probably use this as like a crease shade, but I mean, you don't buy bronzer to use as a crease shade, but whatever. Okay, so that color I would not repurchase, but the formula is fabulous, if that makes sense. This is the newer Givenchy bronzer in 002 Pope Line Bronze. Bronze, like strong J. And it's that color story. I just swirl all around. This, people have complained about this getting hard panned on them, so just know that. I do feel like I have to drag my brush a little bit more heavy in this to pick up powder. I like the effect of it because I like that it feels a little bit airbrush, but just know that you do have to work a little bit harder to get the product out. That's been my experience. This, I like this formula. I would not repurchase because I don't love the packaging on it. I like the YSL logo, but I don't like this sort of soft squishiness. It bothers me. So this is the All Hours Hyper Bronze, and this, what color are you? 03. The color's fabulous. This looks really good on, and it does have like an airbrush effect. So I will use this up. I don't think I'd repurchase this. I think I'll reach for other bronzers. These are the other two Hourglass. Y'all already know how deeply in love I am with the Tom Ford Bronzing Compact. This is the color Terra. The other one I showed y'all was Gold Dust. Beautiful, big compact, a little bit messy, you know, as you use a big brush, but it's a nice big compact with a big mirror if you care about that. And it just feels luxe. I like this, and I would buy that over and over again. This is the Gucci bronzer that I like. I like the color more than the one I showed you in part one. That was 04. This is 03. So it's a much more sort of natural, almost like a sun-kissed color for me anyway, which I really like. And if you care, I don't care, but this comes with this that you can use as a mirror. Of course, there's a mirror on the regular inside part of the component as well. And then it has the little applicator, which as you can see, I never use. But I like the packaging. I think it's cute. Another Bobbi Brown bronzer. This is in the color Natural. Another more cool toned one. So you can use this a little bit for a sculpting effect. Let me tell you something. I have a Tom Ford obsession. What can I say? One of my favorite products, and who put me onto this? Nikki LaRose was raving about this, and I saw her use it, and I was like, I gotta have it. So this is the Shade and Illuminate Contour Duo, and it's in the Intensity 1. So 1 is the one that if you're anywhere in my skin tone, you wanna look for. And this is janky and messy as hell, but boy, do I love this. The contour on here is so creamy and easy to blend and very natural looking. And then this, that looks all thrown away because this cream got into that cream. And this is why I don't like cream products, but I make an exception for this one because I love it. This is the most natural highlighter, glossy looking, wet cheek look ever. This is it. This is the one. This is the one. I really, really like it. I don't even know if it's picking up for y'all, and that's okay because in person it is fabulous. So grody as all get out, lots of fingerprints, but fabulous. This I will probably move along. I forgot that this was still in here from Melt. Oh boy, did I love this when it first came out. The Digital Dust Duo Blush. These really aren't, I mean, they're blushes, but it's the Queen Bee color. They're supposed to be 2 blushes. I mean, does that look like blush to you? I feel like this should be, you know what? I'm gonna stick this over in the Patrick Ta Illuminating whatever the heck duo, because who wants to put that on their cheek? Y'all, that's a little too much. That feels very drag queeny for your cheeks, but it would make great eyeshadow. So let's just go on and declare it an eyeshadow. That way I can salvage this and use it. But the compact is so cute. What's jingling around? Oh, I guess the pans are. Okay, anyway, we're going to use that over there. I do have 2 Hermes makeup products. One of the most insanely priced brands. Hold on, do I have the lipstick over here? I forgot to show y'all the lipstick. Where is it? Where are you? Reveal yourself, you overly priced lipstick. Here you go. I would buy these lipsticks again though. Some of the highest priced lipsticks, I think these are in the $80 range, the Hermes lipsticks. I have mine in the color Beige Kalahari. And I do like that their compacts have different colors depending on what you get. So simple every day. And nice formula, very comfortable. Anyway, go back in your overpriced slot over there. So the Hermes, what do you call it? Plein Air. I forget the exact name of these. Here we go. Healthy Glow Mineral Powder is what it's called in the color 03 Sahara. This is beautiful though. First of all, the stamping in there with the H, like a belt, like you would use on a belt or whatever, the belt buckle, it's really pretty. So you just swirl your brush around. And although this is stupidly priced, it is a very, very nice product and it gives an airbrush effect. I would put it up there with the Tom Ford bronzer in terms of giving a natural look on your face and easy to use. You don't have to work hard for this to be a beautiful look. I really, really like this. I would repurchase this even though it's stupidly priced. I'm also glad that I finally picked up the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Bronzing Powder. Mine is in the color 110. The compact is huge. People are like, oh my God, the packaging's so beautiful. It's okay. I mean, I don't dislike the packaging, but I don't feel like that's a feature of this. I do like that it's big. It's a nice heavy compact. That I'll give it. Where's the opening? Here we go. This is the opening. Beautiful. And you can't see it on screen, but it does have a little bit of gold fleck that just kind of washes out into one beautiful warm look on skin. So there you go. Another sort of light airbrush look that's very, very easy to work with and apply. So I would highly recommend checking this out if you want an easy, no nonsense bronzer that Looks really, really good on skin. I also really like the Dior bronzers. This is nude bronze. Dior Forever Nude Bronze is the name of the product, and it's 30 Tan Matte. Nice, big, compact also. I think there are smaller versions of this, but this is also a really beautiful, easy, softer look. This is a softer one, whereas the Armani has a little bit more punch to it. You have to work this up, but if you like subtlety, this is nice. And I don't mind the softness here versus, I don't know what it is about these YSL ones. I don't like it. I don't mind the Dior one for some reason. Go figure. Doesn't make any sense. All right, let's then go to the foundations and then we'll move on to eyeshadow. But what are you? Oh my gosh, what are you? Oh, this is a Tom Ford. I haven't even used this recently. Shade and Illuminate Mood Light. These are highlighters, also very pretty and very subtle. You can tell they haven't been used. The stamping is like nearly perfect on them. I think I just tried these out a time or two. So I better get on these. These are also very subtle. Okay, let me put this somewhere else so I can, well, it's over here with the highlighters. I'll leave it alone. Okay, very quickly, my favorite face primers. I have 4 here, and then you saw the other ones in the other room. Top of the line for me, and I have a backup of this because I got scared that this was going to be discontinued. The Traceless Soft Matte Primer. This is profoundly amazing for me. It fills in my pores. This is stupidly expensive, and I wish that it wasn't because I want everyone to be able to try this. But it's like $90 or something dumb. But it fills in my pores perfectly, and it gives me flawless makeup for the day. So this is my top recommendation. If you like a juicy look, this oh my God, am I going to pronounce this right? Embryolisse Laboratories Le Crème Concentrée. Basically, it's a cream and it's a nice multi-function nourishing moisturizer, but it serves as a makeup base, as it says right there as well. You can also use this to remove your makeup. Isn't that interesting? You can put this on as a primer, and then later in the day, you can use some of this to take the makeup off. But it's nice and moisturizing, so you can use this for dual purpose. Same thing here with the Luminous Silk. I find this to be a moisturizing and lovely primer as well. Not quite as like life-changing as the Tom Ford though. And then you have the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas, which to me is maybe comparable to the Hourglass Soft Focus, whatever it's called, primer. I would say that they're nearly equivalent. It does a nice job of like filling in pores and giving like a blurred effect. So very expensive too. If you wanted to splurge, I have medium, what am I trying to say? I have combo skin. That's the word I'm looking for. Combo oily T-zone on my face, and then the perimeter of my face is, I would say, normal. If that's you, let me do the influencer tapping. You want this one? Okay, on to the foundations. I love just about everything here, and I would repurchase most of it. I won't go into a lot of detail, but the Le Beige, Chanel, Tent? I'm not even going to try to pronounce this. The Healthy Glow Foundation, okay? And this is in the color B50. Love this. Nice medium coverage, natural looking, long wearing. I have 2 of these NARS light reflecting foundations, I think is what they're called. Light reflecting foundation. Yep, I have it in Barcelona and Syracuse. I would say I'm a mix of both of these colors, M4 and MD1. I don't like the way they number their foundations. I find it really hard to understand, but these are the colors that if I mix them, I'm good. On a very light day, I could get away with Barcelona. On a very tan day, I can get away with Syracuse, and my ideal is the mix. But these are super creamy. Not creamy. Hydrating is what I meant to say. They are light reflecting in that they give you a very natural, glowy look without like looking overdone. I've gone on and on about the Natasha Denona High Glam Foundation. Love the component here and the way this is designed. This is NP10. It goes on very sort of like a wet look, and it dries down to like a demi-matte throughout the day. Nice, long-lasting formula. Oh my gosh, love this Laura Mercier. What is your full name? The Real Flawless Weightless Perfecting Foundation. Mine is in 4N1 Ginger. Another beautiful full coverage, and you look flawless. You do. You look flawless, like a second skin flawless foundation. Really nice. A demi-matte. The Ultra Latent Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Flawless Finish Foundation from Chanel in the color B60. A little tad dark for me, but a beautiful formula, full coverage, long lasting. The Chanel formulas do not miss. They do not miss, and they are worth every penny. And I, for a long time, didn't want to buy them because they're so expensive, but I love them. I have the number one, the Chanel formula, and this one is in B50. These are all just slightly different. I mean, any one of them. If I had to tell you pick one, pick the LaBeijas one. It's probably the easiest one to work with. I don't think this is sold anymore. This is the Tom Ford Flawless Glow Foundation in the color 6.0 Natural. I'm almost more than halfway through. Like I'm down here on this one. I don't like that this is a pump. And so this is one that I would not repurchase because I don't need to. I mean, it's not that special of a formula that I need to go through that again. And I have other Tom Ford formulas that I love even more. This is a good every day-to-day formula, but I'll use it up, but I won't repurchase. I don't know that I would repurchase this one. This is the Tear that everybody went crazy over. And I have mine in 29N Natural Beige. This is okay. I don't get the big, hoopla. It's fine. It's a little fussy because you have to I use my sponge. I don't use the sponge it comes with because I don't think it works well, but I use my regular sponge, wet it, and then go in here and tap it on my face. Very natural look, but I don't find, and this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just one of those things where the packaging's weird, one, and two, the hype was so much that I was like, okay, why is everybody bugging out over the Tear formula? It's fine. Nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't, bother repurchasing because it's such an awkward thing to store. Like I don't see anything that special. The Makeup by Mario. But by the way, I mean, I do like this. I just want to be clear. This is a great formula. I just don't know that it was worth the tremendous hype that it got. It's fine. It's fine. The Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Natural Finish Foundation. Mine is in 16.5N. I find this to be one of the more natural looking formulas. It is lightweight, probably medium-ish coverage, and makes you look like your best self in a very natural way. You don't look like you have foundation on when you put this on. You look like your skin is evenly pigmented and healthy. I think this is a great formula. Remember, this is the one with the white cap. The one with the black cap, the first one, people thought was maybe, I think, too glowy, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I wouldn't say it is my favorite because I don't know what's my favorite, but one of my all-time favorite formulas is this House Lab Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. This one is nearly done. It's down to here and I need to order a new one. This is in 300 medium neutral. It's the foundation I have on today. And then I also have a little bit deeper color, 325 medium warm. Love these. Love. This is a top recommendation because like the Mario one, these look second skin. They're medium in coverage and they have a little bit of a natural glow to them. You look so pretty, but natural. You do not look, I don't think, like you have a whole ton of makeup on. You look flawless, and they have nice lasting power. They'll take you through a whole workday. So these are my top choice for work events where you don't want to look makeup-y. You don't want to look like you were trying too hard with your makeup, but you want your makeup to enhance your natural beauty. House Labs is it. I have two of the Dior foundation sticks. I have one in 3W, 3 warm. Looks like that. I find these to be really creamy and emollient, and they go on pretty well. I have a complaint about these though, and then I have it in the color 3.5N, which I wanted a little bit of a deeper color for more tan days. And here's what I like about these. One, they go on super easy. They're very creamy, easy to apply. They look very natural on your skin. You can still see all of your natural skin tone while having some coverage. Great for travel. I mean, you can't get easier than something simple like this because it's not liquid, it's not fragile, it's simple. My one challenge is they don't last as long as I would personally like. I find that these last better on people that have dry skin. Those are the people like the makeup YouTube folks that love this the most because maybe it stays longer on them. For someone oily like me, I feel like these start to break down maybe into hour 7 or 8. Now, if you're not going to be out too long, that's fine. But the whole reason that I purchased these is to be able to travel with them and have them be my default foundations when I travel, just keep them in my travel bag. However, my work days when I travel, we're up at 7 a.m. I'm at the office at 8. I'm working in teams or presenting or at conferences or whatever. And often we'll go out to dinner afterwards. So I have a long day. I might get going at 7 or 8 and I might not get back to my room until about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So it's a 12, 13-hour day. And around dinner time, these start to break down, especially around the nose. So just know that these are beautiful formulas. They deserve all the hype. However, if you want it to be the most long-lasting, I would go for something like the Chanel one. I really would, or some of the ones that I'm going to tell you about here in just a minute. These they have their limits, but they're beautiful and they are easy to work with. Okay. Dior Forever Hydra Nude. I have it in 3W. I wouldn't repurchase this, but I enjoy this. It's a very light formula that's glowy. It's almost like a skin tint, like the Yves Saint Laurent, whatever this is called, Bare Look tint. It's fine. I wouldn't repurchase this. I'm not, super impressed with it, but I don't have any issues with it either. The Bobbi Brown Weightless Skin Foundation in SPF 15. Nice packaging. Like, isn't that pretty with the symbol? This is in the color Honey. Warm 64 Honey. Very full coverage. Very full coverage. Just it's fabulous and I love it. And it can look cakey if you put too much on. So start with a pump. That's it. And then see what you think and go from there. But beautiful formula, long lasting. This one performs very well. You'll see this in my hero products of the year. The Givenchy Prisma Libre Glow Serum Foundation, 4.5W is my color. Natural, glowy without looking like a grease slick, decently lasting. I think probably more long lasting than the Dior ones. And this is just like a fabulous second skin with medium to full coverage foundation that is flawless. This is so beautiful. I would definitely repurchase that one. This one isn't made anymore, but I still have it. The Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Foundation. I don't think it's made anymore anyway. I have mine in 3W2 Golden, and I have another color that I think broke. It was tawny or something. Love. Beautiful, full coverage. Also can look kind of cakey. And it has a slightly tigery looking top. I don't know if that's showing up. It's like a tiger stripe, which is kind of cool. I do still have, you all remember this? The Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. These are drops that you can mix in with a formula that maybe is a little light to bronze it up a little bit and give you a little bit more dark tone if you needed it. I have 2 Gucci foundations because I had such a trouble color matching these. I have 260 Warm and I have 320 W Warm. So 260, 320. I probably need a color right in between. So these are best when I mix them together. These are 24-hour breathable foundation, luminous matte finish, and that is exactly what it is. You do get a bit of a luminous touch to your foundation, but it is matte with like just a little tiny bit of luminosity, and these last all day till the break of dawn, and they are very, very full coverage. It's a very full coverage foundation, and so it can get cakey. Be careful and apply sparingly and build up until you get to where you want. But these are beautiful, beautiful foundation, very expensive. Speaking of expensive, my most expensive foundation at the moment, and I say at the moment because I got my eye on that dang Clé de Peau foundation. I know, I'm crazy. This is the Architecture Soft Matte. I think there's a new Radiance one that I'm very interested in as well. I will definitely be getting that. And I have the colors 7.5 Shell Beige and 7.7 Honey. The Shell Beige is a little bit more cool tone, whereas the Honey is warmer. And so it just depends on what I'm going for the day and where my skin tone is. But I should probably shake these up because I haven't used them in a minute. But one of the most beautiful foundations. In fact, this with the primer is absolute perfection. Full coverage, flawless look. I mean, you look airbrushed to death, and I love it. I love it. Worth every penny, although they are stupidly priced. And then I also have these 2 Anastasia foundations. What are you called? There's a long name to these. The Impeccable Blurring Second Skin Matte Foundation. They are matte. They, to me, rival the Tom Ford or the Gucci ones in terms of giving you full coverage. I have 3N and 4N, 3 neutral and 4 neutral. Again, just depends on what I'm going for that day and where my skin tone is, which one I use. But these are beautiful, long lasting. If they didn't look like makeup, because they do look like makeup, and it's flawless and it's beautiful, I would take this on work events because they last so long, like really beautiful. So that's this drawer. I play in this drawer quite a lot. Let's go on to the eyeshadows. But this is my small eyeshadow drawer. And I won't go through all of these, but I'll just talk about the kinds that I have in here. This right here is all of my backup mascara formulas. And so I have the Dior one, love the Monsieur Big. Always have a backup of this. I have it, open in the other room as well. This is the Giorgio Armani mascara. I decided I did not want to be without the Bobbi Brown Smoky Eye Mascara, which was a big find for last year. This is a beautiful one. Anyway, and some backup eyebrow pencils. Anyway, so that's that. And then I did want to share these and ask if anybody still had these or ever had these. These are from NARS, and I don't ever hear them talked about, and I rarely heard them talked about when they first came out. These are called one is Summer Lights and the other one is Hot Nights Face palette. And boy, are they beautiful. And I can't get rid of these, although I admit that I don't really use them. I've used them, a few times each. How pretty is that? Like a sheen for your cheek. You can use that as bronzer or cheek color. These could be eyeshadows or whatever you want, really. So that's the Summer Lights one. I think these are long discontinued, but very pretty, buttery formulas. And no one really talked about them. This is Hot Nights. I mean, beautiful colors, nice purpley, pinky colors up in here. Anyway, I can't get rid of these. And I promised myself I would take these on vacation and just never did. But here they are. They're still here. So the small shadow formulas. I have some of these loose shadow loose shadows here. I've actually talked about these in other videos, so I won't go on and on, but I do like the Victoria Beckham ones. I have about 4 of these. These are nicely pigmented and very shiny. If you want razzle dazzle on your eye, these will do it. Boom, look at that. Such a nice, beautiful, you can do like a one and done shade with these. And I think these are some of the prettiest compacts on the market. I mean, very classy little compacts. The Kulfi ones have been all over social media, so I won't get into this. Sona, very, very sparkly, arcly. I do like the Charlotte Tilbury single shadow formulas. I don't have a whole lot of single shadows left. I've actually given a lot of them away to my daughter and her friends because they like them. And I say, hey, take them, enjoy them. But this one is in the color Oyster Pearl, which I really like. That's a sort of neutrally taupey color with a little bit of gold. To me, one of the best razzle dazzle formulas while still being classy on the market are the Hourglass Scattered Light shadows. This is the color Smoke, so I'll just show you this one. I won't go into a bunch. I have maybe 3 or 4. Like, look at it really is scattered light. So pretty and very classy when you want a little bit of extra dazzle on your eyes without going overboard or looking too runway in nature. I have some of the other like Kulfi ones that I've talked about. Are they? Yeah, is that the name? Anyway, I won't go into all of that. I do have 2 from Chanel that I like, and these are on recommendation from Michelle Wong, who's another makeup YouTuber that I really enjoy her recommendations. I have the color Beige Sable and Brune Talpa. This is the one she loved the most. So it's a kind of taupey, silvery color. Yeah, very sort of subtle, day-to-day, easy color with a little bit of shine. I'm looking at the camera and it doesn't show there. Sorry. I really do hate all of this extra little junk that they come with. I don't use that. So anyway. These are my Tom Ford quads. I used to have more and I've given a bunch away. I think maybe the most classic one is this Nude Dip. This is the easiest one for people to use, sort of everyday shimmery colors that look really good on aging eyes, actually. I haven't really used this one, although it's a beautiful color story. Look at that. Ooh, that's like a New Year's Eve palette. So pretty. Anyway, I like that these formulas are easy to use on the eyes. I did a whole video on this Lanine de Givenchy. I'm sure there's a different way to pronounce that, but this is beautiful. Easy colors with enough day-to-day, but also some shiny, sparkly bits and pieces if you like that too. That would be a great travel palette. I think one of my favorite formulas, I'll just stick to the formula instead of showing you everything, are these Charlotte Tilbury quads. These are great for travel too. So I'll just show you one. Like, here's the Uptown Girl. You get a little bit of sparkle in most of the palettes. You get some nice shimmery shades for the rest of your eyelid and then something to put in the crease and a little bit of brow bone. They're all like that. These are, to me, one of the most worth it little palettes in the small palette world. I have these Dior ones as well, these Quints. A few of these I've given away and repurchased and given away again. again. And so like here's soft cashmere. These are softer looks. You're not going to get a really super impactful look. These are ones that I would take to work. In fact, I have taken these to work because you get just a little bit of shimmer. Let me take this plastic off. Just a little bit of shimmer like this color here. Look how pretty that is. But then you get some softer colors to put through the crease. And so they're very versatile and simple and easy to use. You know, there's no mystery here. This one is called a Nude Dress. And they're small for travel, you know, like easy color stories. So I like that formula. I finally purchased the Sisley palette. These are ridiculously expensive. This is the Tender Toffee one, and I quite like it. Do I think this is worth 120 whatever dollars it costs? Probably not. And here we are, and I got it on sale. And I will say the stamping on this is exquisite. The feel of the formula is beautiful. This is an easy one to take on travel as well. Quite pretty. I do like this compact And the packaging overall is really pretty. I have a few of these Victoria Beckham compacts. I've been hesitant to purchase more, but because I don't necessarily love and find the color stories versatile, but this one I like. It's an all shimmer palette, and I combine it with this one, which is the first one. I mean, it doesn't seem like these two go together, but they can work well together. Oops, I just had a disaster there. Like I can use that through the entire crease area, or the background rather, and use one of these to the crease and put one or two of these on the lid for some little bit of sparkle. And I love the tininess of these little compacts. They're like credit card size, and they're so cute. Very pretty. And I've gone on and on about the Lisa Eldridge eyeshadow formula. I won't open all of these because I think I redid one of these. I redid the Betty palette. I'll just show you this. I took the eyeshadows out of this and bought singles and did my own sort of shimmer palette with one matte to put through the crease. And I love these. These are beautiful. And I like these compacts. I think they're pretty. This one is, I think this is the Vega palette rather. Okay, here, let me just go on and show them to you. This one is the Fawn palette. Okay, so these are great for travel as well. All these obviously are great for travel. I don't know why I keep saying that. That's the whole point of purchasing these. I have one of the Lancome ones. I don't love the compact on this. I think it can be a little fancier, but I will say the formula is beautiful. This one is Taupe Craze 04. Gorgeous on the eyes, real friendly for mature eyelids. I have one of the YSL wads. This is the color 100. I forget what the name of it is. There's a name to it, but it's pretty. I would not bother repurchasing these again, because again, the same issue with the packaging here that I have with the bronzer. I'm just not that fascinated with the packaging like everybody else is. The formula is nice. I really, really like the formula. Then I have some of these smaller Natasha Denona ones. This is the My Dream palette, very easy to travel with. This one does really well because you can pair it with cool or neutral tones for the rest of your face. This is the Mini Glam. I mean, these are teeny tiny, and she does a nice job of giving you a couple of mattes that are light and dark and different shimmers, different tones of shimmers so that you can do a variety of looks. This is the first matte one that she came out with, the Mini Eye Sculpt. There's now a cool tone version of this. I actually found this a little bit neutral to cool tone, so I was surprised that she came out with a cool tone one. I guess this one is warm, but I find these to be cool. And maybe, I don't know how I feel about that one. And then I love this one. This is the Camel palette. So I've traveled with this a lot. This was a present from my sister, and I really like the tones in here. They're right up my alley. And then my Viseart formulas. These are redone. Like I really mixed and matched eyeshadows from a different palette. So I can't tell you the name of this because it doesn't matter. These are from different palettes put together. And then the same thing. No, not here. This is what it is. This is the Petite Neutrals one. So this is a nice palette if you want to travel with just the matte shades and maybe some of the shimmer single pot shadows kind of a thing, and mix and match. The Viseart formula is beautiful and very, very, very easy to use. And then I have all of these Viseart formulas over here, which I won't take out. I think these are all quite beautiful. I especially love this one, the Praline Chocolate, because it's right up my alley. I like that these are small and easy to travel with as well. Like that is perfection in terms of tones and colors that look good on my eyes. And there's some both neutral and warm tones in here that I can work with enough light, medium, dark, and shimmer shades that you can get a variety of looks. I really like that. And I guess I'll just show you this one too, the Lilas Lumiere Attendu, which has some pinky and purpley tones in here. Like these are lilac colors over here. But I really like the versatility of the neutral Praline Chocolate one. I do have this, which I should probably get rid of. Years ago, when I took apart my Lorac eyeshadows and a bunch of other stuff, I did these, Z palettes, where I kept all the colors that I loved. Here's the problem. Some of these are Ofra, like these round ones are Ofra eyeshadows. Fantastic formula. Problem is, I never reach for this. I really don't. It's almost like it's invisible to me. These are some bronzer shades from Lorac and other formulas that I decided to keep. And I think these might be blushes. Beautiful, nice baked formulas. Well, this is a silvery eyeshadow color, but I don't know what to do with these because they're beautiful and I don't want to get rid of them. But the fact of the matter is I haven't reached for these in years. Okay, so this is the next to last drawer. I won't, I was going to say I won't spend a lot of time, but I actually will. I'm going to spend some time here. These are the bigger eyeshadow palettes. Some of these have been rearranged. So let me start with two current faves, these Makeup by Mario palettes. Actually, let me do down here so the camera doesn't jump around. And these are the Master Mattes, the original, and then what is the second one called? The Neutrals. So here's the original. This is a little bit like that matte Viseart palette that I showed you where these are background colors that you can take with you, and then you can use that alone. You can do a whole look just out of this matte kind of palette, or you can have some of the shimmer pots to take with you to put over them. These are beautifully blendable and very easy. They start off lightweight, like you see that, and you build them up, and they have a very natural look and effect on the eyes, which I really, really like. I avoided these for a long time. Why? Because I figured they didn't have a lot of pizzazz, and I was wrong. These are fantastic. So that's the original, and then this one is the neutral one, which has the more sort of pastel-y type of shades. I haven't really used this palette yet. I bought it on sale during the holidays. This, I don't even know how to say this name, Duce. And this is the Freematic Eyeshadow Pro palette with the smoke eye finish. I can't say much about this, so I'll just show this to you. It's got a beautiful color story, and maybe I should use it this week. These are like modular where they come out and you can replace them with others. And that kind of blew my mind when it arrived. I didn't expect that. I've gone on and on about these two lately, the Natasha Denona Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone palette. This one is the neutral, or the, what is it called? The soft one, I think is the name of it. And then this one is the dramatic one. And oh gosh, I love both of these color stories. Like, look, do you really need anything else other than these two? Unless you like super dramatic looks. Like in terms of like an everyday look that can take you into nighttime, these two palettes do the job. And there's enough shimmers. There's two shimmers here. The complaint was that this is mostly matte and only has the two shimmers, but the two shimmers are beautiful and they work. And then this one has a whole row of shimmers. So between the two of these, I think you would be like set for life unless you want dramatic colors, like rainbow colors, and then this doesn't do. And these are nicely constructed compacts too, which I really appreciate. So then other Natasha Denona palettes that I will likely not get rid of, at least for a long time, because I adore them. I made this one up. This is the My Dream palette compact, but you might remember a Natasha Denona video a while back where I said that I took them out of their palettes and mixed and matched them. So this is a mixed and matched arrangement here in the My Dream palette compact. And I guess that's all I will say, a mix of shimmers and some neutrally and pinky shades that I enjoy from time to time. I kept this one intact, the I Need a Nude palette, because I think it is perfect as is, with these kind of pinky, mauvey, and neutrally tones, some kind of grayish, even mauvey tones. This is really beautiful and like an easy to use palette, one of my faves. The same is true with the I Need a Warm palette. What a beautiful color story. What nice shimmers, and the mattes that Natasha Denona makes. There's different formulas. Like this is her typical matte. And then this one that is a little bit more sort of buttery. I mean, it's like butter. It's like butter. Then this says the bronze palette, but this is another one that I deconstructed. Or did I? Is this the original palette? Oh, yes, I redid this. Yes, some of these are original, like these are originals to the palette, but I think some of these in here I took out of other palettes and just created my own. I tried to stick to the idea that any group of four could make a quad. So like these four work well together, these four work well together. I did it like that to kind of honor the color stories that she tends to put together, Natasha Denona, and also just for ease of use. So I kept this one intact, the golden palette. Look at the disgustingness of these fingerprints. It is what it is. Beautiful palette. Let me put this side by side with the I Need a Warm palette so you can see the differences there. This is the nude. We want the warm palette. Here they are. So I don't know if they'll fit in the shot. Let's do it like that. This is the warm palette, and this is the golden palette. So this one has a little bit more yellow tones. This one is maybe more neutral to warm, and those are the big differences. I probably gravitate more toward the I Need a Warm as everyday, and this one has a little bit more glitz and glam to it with these kind of gold tones and so forth in here. Admittedly, I do not reach for this palette often. I think it is beautiful. This is the Xenon palette. What a gorgeous set of colors here. Another one that you could use for super high glam. I like that the shimmer formulas in here have some differences. Like this one is a little bit chunkier, looks a little intergalactic. This one is maybe a little bit lighter. Then you have I mean, you see how they're all like different textures. So anyway, this is a fun palette and some nice grayish tones. As I mentioned in part one, if I had to keep between that and the Jeffree Star cremated palette that has the grays in it, I'd go for the cremated palette because there's more variety, but this is a gorgeous color story with beautifully pigmented shadows and they last for forever. I think I kept this one intact, the Lila palette or Lila, one of my favorites. Yeah, this is beautiful. It looks a little bit super colorful here on screen, but you can absolutely get everyday looks out of here and definitely out of here. And even if you went subtly with like some of these pinky tones and didn't go too crazy, that one might be a little bit much for a day-to-day kind of use as well as that one. But this is, I think, one of her better older palettes, Lila or Lila. Then the Triochrome palette, I believe I kept intact as well because it scared me to think about separating these and figuring out what other family of colors they would go with. And so this is not one that I reach for often, but it is fun to play with in the spring when you want like a pastel-y look. This is a mishmash of different colors. It's the Tropic Palette Compact, but I mixed and matched shadows to come up with that, which is something that I might take on vacation if we were going somewhere tropical and I wanted some pretty bright looks. So that's why I put these colors in here. These are not, with the exception of these like tan colors and browns, these are not everyday colors. I don't typically wear turquoise and purple and bright blue on my eyes in this like duochrome color here. This is a classic and it's loved for a reason. These formulas are so easy to wear. I wore this on my wedding day, would wear it again easily. I love that there are easygoing, neutral, leaning warm colors in here, as well as these cooler yet warm. I mean, gray is typically a cool tone color, but these have some nice brown undertones. Let me restate that. These are actually neutral to warm grays here, which I think are really beautiful. These colors are all fabulous, and they're easy for me to wear. They look good against my skin tone all day, every day, whether I am tanned or super pale. These work for me. So this is a great color story. This is one, the Circo Loco palette. These are not the colors that this came with. I mixed and matched these as well, but I put super bright colors in here that I was less likely to wear. I probably wouldn't wear a lavender color like that. I probably would not wear this blue. Maybe I might wear that like grayy, teal-ish type of blue there. That's super pigmented. It reminds me of the blue. Look at that. That's in the new Danessa Myricks Lightworks palette. It's like that. So anyway, this would be when I wanted to get really dramatic and do something fun, which is not typical or usual for me. So that's why they're sitting here. I, again, mixed and matched these from other places. Did I keep the Safari palette whole? I mean, look at the beauty of this compact here. Yes, I think I kept this whole. These are the original colors. There are no shimmers in here. This is an all matte palette, which can be a challenge. And this is one when you want to do, avant-garde looks. It's not a palette I would pull for everyday use, although you could do some everyday colors like these two together. This in here would be, for me, an everyday look. You might be able to do something everyday-ish right in here, but like the Desert Date, I mean, that's a pretty bold color. Masai is a bold color. Fata Morgana, I think, it's a beautiful bluish, like a teal color. That's really, really pretty, like almost like a midnight teal blue color. Savannah is like a grungy green. And so again, avant-garde looks, not necessarily everyday, depending on you and what you do. But it is a beautiful palette in its own right. And these formulas I really like. And then this is no longer the Sunset palette. I think I mixed this up, or did I? Yes, look at all these bright colors. So this is like a combination of other colors from other palettes here. Again, bright colors. And so I would not use these often. That color, that color, that color, I'd wear all day, every day. That color too. These purpley blues and whatever are a special occasion. Then one of my favorite eyeshadow collections is the Sydney Grace. This is a huge Z palette, and I handpicked all of these shadows, and I love them all. This family of colors in here is kind of what I wear all the time. The nice browns, the maybe mauvey, neutral mid-tone, slightly pinky colors that don't go too much in the pink or red direction. And these greens are beautiful on me, but I don't wear them often. In general, this has such a wide variety of colors that this could be the palette that I take to the deserted island. Even though it's not a palette, it's a bunch of colors together that I purchased from Sydney Grace, one of the best formulas. And I never dislike my look when I reach for this Z palette. I always love it, and I always feel like it lasts a long time. So then this is one of Natasha Denona's 28 pan palettes, but it's one that I redid. So a lot of this would have been the blue-green palette. I moved a lot of those into some of those other bright palettes that you saw, and I made this a very everyday palette. And again, I did it in the quads, where like these four, these four, whatever. Any four in here can be worn together quite nicely. You know, you have a darker crease shade, something lighter for the brow bone, and then a couple of shimmers to play with for the most part across this palette with some exceptions. But this is adorable. This is another one that's like a great work palette for all the time. And I made it up. I totally made it up. This is pushed and pulled from other Natasha Denona palettes. So then I showed you the remaining Mothership palettes in the other room. A few I have given away. This one is the Mothership 10 Moonlit Seduction. Beautiful artwork on this one as well. This color story looks like that. A lot of easy to wear colors, and you got some razzle dazzle here. I am moving away, or have moved away completely rather, from duochrome shadows, which this one is. You see like it's like a brown burgundy and like a greenish aquamarine kind of color all together. I don't need to be fooling people when I twist my head. I just want the one color, you know. But anyway, this has some of the glitzy shades. I mean, look at that. Look at that gold. Holy cow. And the mattes are always great in her formulas as well, Pat McGrath. I hope that my microphone is picking up my sound okay. So the ones that I kept are the ones that I thought maybe had slightly more wearable looks. And this one, I think, Subliminal Mothership 1 is maybe one of my favorites, because it is maybe among the more overall wearable yet chic color palettes that Pat McGrath did. And it still has like this amazing blue in here. That's also a duochrome or a shifty one. I mean, I don't love that, but these shades all together are very easy to wear. So I think this is one of her more, despite it having the bright blue, one of her more wearable day-to-day palettes in terms of like using the entire color story. And it was the first Mothership that she put out. So this one is Natasha Denona's like first commercially marketed palette, the Star palette, but it doesn't have the star arrangement in here. This is another one that I redid. So this is not what it originally looked like, but I wanted to do a cool tone section and maybe something a little bit warmer. And there you go. Lots of fun shimmer shades and some matte for background colors. So that's what you got going on here. Totally made up. And then friends, maybe rivaling others for a favorite formula, the Byredo palettes. Bum, ba, da, bum. Here's the Remembrance palette, which is a couple of years ago or 3 years ago, I forget. And it looks like that. I absolutely love two pieces, especially this section right here. These pinks are muted enough that they're very wearable for me. And you get some good pop of shimmer with these colors. I mean, hello, look at that. If you needed and wanted it, it's there, you know, or you can stick to something a little bit more subdued like that one, or I recently wore that shade. You know, those are more wearable day to day. These are for evening, razzle dazzle, knock 'em dead. Even this like pinky one is really, really pretty. So that is the Remembrance palette. And then perhaps the most impressive palette release of last year and of recent years in general. I can't give this palette enough praise, the Bibliophilia palette. I mean, I don't love the packaging with the fingerprints. Okay, but we've talked about that. This is exquisite. It is a glorious color story altogether. I guess they call it colorway now. Why did we start calling color stories colorway? What happened there? I don't know. Anyway, you have a more sort of neutral, coolish tone over here, and then neutral to warm tones over here. And I still haven't played with these three colors on my eyes, but I like them and I intend to use them. The other colors I have dug into with great success, and they just look so smooth, second skin, and yet impactful and beautiful on the eyes. This is like the sleeper hit palette of the year for people that are not into makeup or follow makeup trends. This is the one. The one. I love this. Between this and these two Natasha Denona releases, I'd say these are the top three releases of the eyeshadow world for me in 2025. Absolutely fantastic, exquisite, flawless formula across these. I mean, they go on so beautiful. They're very, very soft, easy. They just glide on like they love you. These are shadows that have known you your entire life. Understand you, know exactly where you're coming from. These are just beautiful. Okay, so that's all the eyeshadows. I'm going to quickly share setting sprays before we talk about blushes, and then we'll wrap up this video. The One Size Powder Melt Glass Setting Spray I have not used yet, so I cannot attest to. Oh, that's a lie. Excuse me. I did use it one time, and it does give you a slightly glassy look. Not quite as pronounced as I was hoping from the promos, but really, really good. On the affordable end, you cannot beat these NYX setting sprays. There's a matte one and then there's a dewy one, and they're both beautiful and they really do well and help your makeup last. I don't really use this. I've used this maybe once or twice over the past year, but this is the Dior Air Flash Radiance Mist Primer and Setting Spray. You can use this both as primer and then after you finish your makeup to set. I've used it more as a primer. This is the Fair to Light Skin Tones one. Again, this one is discontinued, so do with that what you will. I have the Catrice Prime and Fine Illuminating Dewy Glow Fixing Spray, another affordable, beautiful setting spray that really rivals like the Charlotte Tilbury in terms of setting everything down. A little version of the Max Fix It. That one's fine, maybe not my favorite. I'm running out of this. I need a new one. I have a travel size of the One Size On Till Dawn mattifying waterproof setting spray. Really good. It really does set your face on. It's like hairspray for your face. And then the Fenty Beauty You Mist. This is more like literally a mist for your face. And it has a little bit of setting property, but it isn't the most fixing one. Okay, but I still like it and it gives the face a nice sheen. And then I have a couple up here on the counter that are frequent use products. I have the Milani Make It Last setting spray, which I'm making my way through. I have just a little bit here to go, and then this one will be done. This one is a little bit hairspray-ish, not quite as potent, for example, as the One Size, but nearly there, and a very good, affordable setting spray. And then I've raved and raved about the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm Mattifying Setting Spray. Lord have mercy, that is a mouthful with 20,000 syllables. And this is mattifying and it's beautiful. This looks especially fantastic with that Tom Ford primer and then the Tom Ford foundation and then this over it. And you are a mattified queen. Queen or king, whoever you are, you look amazing. All right, let's look at the blushes and then we will wrap up this incredibly long video. Okay, we are now officially in the blush drawer and I'll try to be speedy here. I'm embarrassed at how long it's taken me to film a makeup collection video. So let me start off with the face palette-ish kinds of ones. I think this is from Tarte. I don't even remember because it doesn't say the name of the company here. But, you know, it's one of these that has a bunch of different colors in it. And I like, yeah, it's Tarte. Okay, thank you. I thought I was going crazy. I like that this is one that I could take on travel with me because it has different tones. So whatever look I want, I could find something in here that worked for the look. I also want to share that I have a mild obsession with the Hourglass formula, which you see here. These are their holiday palettes on this side and then some of the regular palettes over here. I like that you get variety in these. For example, this one that has a bronzer, a finishing powder, a blush, like a strobe powder that you could use as a highlight or an eyeshadow. You can use any of these as eyeshadows. But what I love especially and the most about Hourglass is that the powders are subtle but impactful. And you get a variety of different finishes and they look very airbrushed on your skin. Like they don't have edges. You know, you use your brushes and you put these on and they don't have harsh edges. Anyway, love, love, love this almost like shiny, pumpkin-y color there. You know, these are just the most beautiful formulas. And that's why I collect them because I enjoy using them. So I have all of these palettes with a variety of blushes and bronzers and finishing powders and highlighters in them. And it's the one exception that I make for face palettes because I stopped buying palettes that have multi-use, but these are just so beautiful. I also have 4 of the blushes and these are fantastic as well if you want to look at independent ones and like the palettes are overwhelming. Like look how pretty. Look how pretty that is. Now, it looks like it's a lot of different colors, but it combines into one, you know, on your skin. That one is Sublime Flush. Anyway, I can't say enough good things about the Hourglass formula and how elegant and beautiful they are. I have also a lot of Chanel blushes, another favorite formula. Let me just grab one. This one is Quintessence. Look how pretty that is. And it's like a sheer wash of lit from within color. So, so pretty. My favorite color that I would buy over and over again is called Beige Eclatant. It's that one. Look at that. If that is not such a beautiful, nearly cream to powder formula, and it's subtle, yet looks so classy and pretty with a look. Love that formula. I do have one of the Westman Atelier ones in Petal, which is the one that everybody loves so much. And I like it too, but I'm moving away from cream products. So, I'll just leave that there. I'm not sure. I don't know. I could be persuaded because it is pretty long lasting. It's just such a beautiful day-to-day color. But I don't want a whole lot of cream products because I feel like they eventually over time, dry out, crack, and, get really weird looking and grody. So I have a few Dior blushes. This is another fabulous formula. I mean, these are like a lot like the Chanel ones in that they have such an airbrush look on the skin. This one is in the color, oh my gosh, Rose Montaigne Shimmer. That one has a little bit of shimmer. That one's a little bit more sort of everyday pale look. Anyway, the Dior formulas, I think, are dramatically underrated, as are the Lancome, although the Lancome packaging is a little bit more boring. That color there is Miel Glacé, and it looks boring in pan. But again, another one of these sort of subtle washes of color when you just want a little bit of color and don't want to be gaudy or too dramatic with your look. If you do want drama, get yourself some House Labs. This is Fire Moon and Pomelo Peach, my favorite colors. Really, really beautiful on skin and highly impactful, a lot of pigments. I used to be really into the Pat McGrath face formulas, but again, I'm moving away from palettes and I find this packaging more gaudy now than I did in the past. But this is one of her cheek palettes that I thought was really quite exquisite. Again, I would love it to just be that, like the 4 blushes, but it also has this highlight here, which I don't use that much. It's a little bit on the chunky side and really strong. I mean, this could be a great eyeshadow shade, more so than like what do you call it, a highlighter. But these 4 colors are beautiful. So that's why I keep this. And I do have an independent one from her too, a solo. And what color are you? Desert Orchid. Really? Look at that. Just gorgeous, like very earthy color on the cheek. I have several of these MAC, I think they're called Glow Play. Yeah, Glow Play blushes. This is, well, you can't see because of the ring light, but Cheer Up. These are a formula that feels squishy. And I love them and I think they're beautiful, but you see how they're starting, there's hairs in them and I freaking hate that. And so I would not repurchase because of that. And I feel like the packaging is very cheap, but the formula is amazing. So I have Cheer Up, True Harmony, which is more like an earthy color. And I also have So Natural. So Natural. Okay. Over here, I have a couple of the YSL formulas. Now, these compacts I like, even though I don't like the other compacts that have that squishy packaging. I know, I'm picky and I'm weird. And this one is, what color are you? The color 23 and the color 06. So these are, pretty everyday pinky mauvey colors. The Giorgio Armani blushes. These compacts are very interesting. I like that they are a little bit different without being so over the top that you can't store them with others. This color is 11. This is a very everyday color, kind of like that beige eclatant. And this is the color 52, but you had a name, and I don't remember what it is, but that is a bright fuchsia. I haven't worn this one. It's like a baby doll pink fuchsia. I need to try this. It's not worn, as you can see, brand new. I am in love with this formula, but I hate the packaging of the Fenty blushes. I mean, first of all, it's tilted off to the side. And what is that? What is that dang scratch symbol on there? I don't like that. I think that's obnoxious, but this color is beautiful. It's Bacon Cakes. Bacon Cakes. So this is a nice earthy tone. Again, just a light flush of colors, very similar to the Chanel Beige Eclatant, and I love it for that. I haven't really played with these too much, but I was interested in the Ilia blushes, especially after all of the hype from the holiday sales. I have the color Flutter and Glimpse. I'm a little nervous about these because oh no, they are more powdery, never mind. So I do need to play with these. I haven't worn these at all. That one was Flutter and this is Glimpse. I don't know that will look good on me. That feels a little bit dull, but we'll see. I'll try them. And then I love the Gucci blushes. I'm not as enamored with the packaging as everyone else. I think it's cute, but I just think people like hype up this packaging like it's the best thing ever. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Oh, it's cute. Radiant Pink. Radiant Pink. That's a beautiful pinky color. Tender Apricot. This is one of my favorites because it looks really pretty on my skin tone. It's like peachy, a little bit warm yet light. and then Bright Coral in 04. Okay, so these are beautiful. These are also like subtle on the cheeks, but noticeable. The Laura Mercier cheek formula is like a crowd fave. This one is peach, looks like that. It reminds me a little bit of like NARS Orgasm and Bellini. That is a pretty color, a little bit like that tender apricot that I showed you from Gucci. I do like this, but I won't repurchase because of the packaging. And this is the Tower 28. And I think this is a cream formula. I'm not even going to open it. It's the color Rush Hour. So that's okay. And then I do like this one, but don't like the packaging. And that is Gingerly, the Sheer Tone Blush from MAC. And I like that color for when I'm more tan and want something a little bit more earthy looking on my skin. All right, that is the entire collection, top to bottom, part 1 and part 2. Please do drop comments, questions in the chat. And thanks for sticking around if you're still around. I know this was a super duper long video, and I appreciate you being here. Take care.